This is one of those topics that no one really wants to think about, but if you're a parent, a homeowner, married, or helping take care of aging parents, it's something that honestly deserves a little attention. I'm talking about estate planning. And before you tune out thinking it's complicated or expensive, that's actually why I want to mention Trust and Will. Trust and Will makes estate planning feel way less intimidating than it sounds. They offer modern, attorney-designed wills and trusts that you can create online. And the process is surprisingly straightforward. In fact, you can create a will in as little as 30 minutes. That includes things like guardianship for your kids or pets, how your assets are distributed, and even healthcare directives. Don't wait until it's too late. Protect your loved ones with Trust and Will, the most trusted name in online estate planning. Go to trustandwill.com/future to get 20% off. That's trustandwill.com/future for 20% off. trustandwill.com/FUTURE.
VSiN, the sports betting network.
Follow the money. That's what I always say. You always follow the money. Yeah.
This is Follow the Money with Mitch Moss and Pauly Howard on VSiN.
Welcome in. This show is brought to you by ProfitX. Right now, King of March is giving you a shot at free trips worth up to $10,000 just for betting the tournament. Download the ProfitX app and use the code VSINMM. We're live in Vegas. Circa Resort and Casino is the spot. Day one of the madness. 2 games going on as we speak. Middle second half, Michigan State on top of North Dakota State, 69-48. Sparty closed as a 16.5-point favorite. Currently, they are 23.5. In-play total is 157.5. And Arkansas, 11.5 minutes to go up in Portland. They are leading Hawaii 73-55. Current in-play number is 21.5. The total there is 177.5. If you're just getting out of work today, I don't know, maybe you don't have access to your phone during work. If Arkansas wins this game today, they'll get High Point because High Point delivered the biggest upset so far of the day by beating 5th seed Wisconsin by a point. High-scoring game, a lot of fun. They chucked a lot of threes. Badgers were fun to watch. They had a ton of good wins, and they were thought of as maybe a sleeper in this tournament. They couldn't even get out of the first round.
That window was fantastic.
Oh,
with that going
what a
on,
way to start the tournament.
Yep, and the South Florida finish, they were down 23 in the second half. They lost by 4, and that went from 7.5 down to 3.5, and it falls 4. And then you also had Sienna Cash first half money line 20-1. Kelly Stewart mentioned some people at 18 where she was at with the Westgate at her party. But Sienna led with 7 minutes left before Duke won by 6, so not even close, laying 28.5. And they TCU taking money. It's down to 11.5 as they meet on Saturday.
Yeah, I still like the 11.5 with TCU in that game against Duke. I don't think I'm overreacting to what happened with Duke today. I thought coming into this tournament that TCU, with a win today, that was kind of a coin flip against Ohio State, could be a serious threat to the Blue Devils. Again, you can't deny TCU's wins throughout the entire year. They're just too good. I mean, early in the season, they played Michigan to a 4-point game. And that was right after that. Michigan beat everybody by 40, and some of the best teams in the country. They also beat Florida and Wisconsin like back-to-back. Ultra impressive there. And the other one now, shop around again because I think FanDuel and DK are slightly different on Vanderbilt. One book has Vandy 1.5 against Nebraska. Other book has 2.5 on the Commodores there. Tonight, North Carolina takes on VCU. This is a team that, if you go back before the injury, I thought North Carolina with a healthy Caleb Wilson could have done some damage this year. Without him, I think he's just too good, and he means too much to this team. And I think VCU can win this game tonight.
Yep. Total open 154, down to 150.5 at a couple spots, circa one of them. And VCU has been on fire. As I mentioned a couple times on the show, March Madness started for them early. 16-1 run, last 17. Only loss at St. Louis. And they came out of nowhere to just get on the bubble and then stayed on it. And then was thinking, could they get an at-large? But then, the committee said they had to beat Dayton and get that automatic bid in the A-10 title game. But it's a great program, which sees a lot of turnover with the head coach. New coaches, just reload, 26-7, beat South Florida. Good on the glass with the offensive rebounding. They get to the free throw line. And I'm with you that I think they absolutely can win this game. And you have to be concerned about Carolina. the injury, how they're playing down the stretch, and they appeared to be a different team with the home road splits too.
All right, Hawaii with a 3 to cut it to 15. You and I are hanging on here to 15.5 in pocket. They're 8 of 22 from downtown. Think about this. Arkansas has 75 points with 10 minutes to play. They've hit 3 threes today. That's it.
Yeah.
Boy, they are high flying. There's a turnover back to Hawaii off Acuff's foot.
Nice to see if VCU can also win by margin. You see what that, everyone likes the path for Illinois, and Illinois plays Penn, and Illinois keeps taking money. And how that opened up, and that's crazy that's a 3-14, and it's up to 25.5, open 21.5. But an Illinois VCU second round game could be interesting, and certainly that bottom of that bracket's intriguing with these games coming up tonight with St. Mary's and A&M. With if Bennett can get this done, as Aaron Moore talked about in the history, they usually win that first game and then suffer a big loss.
Yep.
So they could probably draw Houston in the second round, and Houston's laying a bunch. We've talked about the Big Skies issues. 1-25 straight up run for the Big Sky, and Idaho came out of nowhere to win that conference tournament.
Do you have any desire to chase Siena's first half victory today against Duke by piggybacking that with Howard tonight against Michigan? Game tips off in about an hour and 5 minutes.
They look good. The big guy played well.
I know.
They surprised me.
I know.
They got up and go. They could score.
You can find
But
Howard as high as 35-1 to win the first half.
That's tough. Because Siena didn't look like a 16 seed.
Oh, they did not.
And the Metro Atlantic is also a pretty good league.
Yeah, I thought they were a little underseeded, actually.
Yeah, and they beat Merrimack in the final. So McNamara did a great job. They got good looks, the wide open shots. Kids played well. But that's, I think they can hang in the game. But, to go on a crazy run or lead at half, no, can't get there. And the same thing, what a great story Prairie View is. Like tomorrow. Again, they're a bigger. Oh. Do you want Prairie View to win the game or the Saints to win the Super Bowl? There's better odds on the Saints to win the Super Bowl. But they've covered 14 in a row. They won 5 games last year. They were the 8th seed in the SWAC, won their conference tournament 40-1. And then they pulled a mini upset as well in the first 4 game. But, 35-point spread. Yeah, that's.
You know what I thought the committee was going to do, or NCAA was going to do to Miami after winning last night? I thought they were going to put them in the early game on Friday.
They've done that before.
Did it to Wichita.
Yeah, right.
They're still playing at 4:25 Eastern, 1:25 Pacific.
Well, they'll have fans behind them in Pitt. I hope they can do it again. And I love what they did, and I loved what High Point did. Play the math game. Shoot 43s, right? You're going against some big guys. You're a smaller squad. Number one, Miami of Ohio runs exquisite offense. It's a beautiful offense, what they run. And then the backdoor cut was awesome in the last minute. But he said that. Steele made it a point. We're shooting 43s. That's the goal. And that's what High Point did today. And I know you were concerned at halftime because they weren't going in the first half and then bombs away and they don't care. I mean, that kid came down, that short kid came down and let it rip from Curryland right away after one pass. It's a 6-point game with 4 minutes left. He didn't care. Nails it, hit another 3.
Here was as somebody from the state of Wisconsin, my biggest concern was it's a tight game at halftime. High Point attempted 23 threes. They only made 6. Do we think that they were going to suddenly just stop shooting threes? Yeah, no, they were going to keep firing. They're probably going to go in.
Well, you said it earlier. I didn't really pay no mind to it, but this is off the top of my head. You were the big favorite and lost to Steph Curry and Davidson. You were a big favorite and lost to Cornell. Big favorites lost here to High Point. Lost to BYU. Lost to
Ole Miss, I believe.
Who was the one a couple years ago? It was a small school. James Madison got you. There's another one. There's a lot of these on Wisconsin's resume.
I don't like to talk about it, Pauly.
Wow. But a lot of people had high hopes for him. But sometimes you just got to plus 460 on the money line. Double-digit dog, 12 seed, no respect. We can't play it because it was on the court. But I mentioned it earlier that their coach went off after the game. It was so good. They say we don't play nobody because no one plays. I want these coaches to name people. Name them. Put them on Front Street.
Might as well. You have nothing to lose.
Who'd you call? For example, we called Texas Tech. They wouldn't return the phone call. We called Houston. They said no. And just run down the list then.
Yeah. By the way, Miami is plus 270 or higher to win the first half against Tennessee tomorrow. I think they're like the best thing to happen to college basketball this year. They're a blast to watch. They score a ton of points, like you said.
Yeah.
And even better,
Absolutely.
here's their coach, Travis Steele, talking about all this after the game last night.
I think it just shows there's a lot of good teams out there. I mean, we had to basically be perfect in the whole regular season to get an at-large. But yet we're going to go win a game tonight, and we could advance far into the tournament. And I would say that the reason people love March Madness is they love to see quote-unquote upsets. This wasn't an upset tonight at all. But people are going to say that it was, right? That's what the outside world's going to say. And listen, there's a lot of good teams. Like Belmont was phenomenal this year. They lost in their conference tournament. They can win games. You know, I had a ton of respect for Casey Alexander or UNC Wilmington. It goes on and on. Those teams can compete with anybody, but they don't get the opportunities in the regular season, quite honestly, to put them in a position to where they can get an at-large bid, right? And that's the challenge. And hopefully it shows that, hey, listen, we're just as good as any of these other P5s or P6s that are going 500 in their league or whatever is out there. I mean, there's some really good mid-major teams, really good.
Then you and I have been saying now, I mean, every time we talk college basketball, this tournament is so popular because of the underdogs. It would be a boring event if all the big boys won by 100 points every single game.
Yeah, and I knew they're only an hour away, but that atmosphere was A+.
Oh, it's
too.
great. How
but
about
that goes
swim
back
team?
to coming in the Speedos, yes. But that also goes back to the conference commissioner and the ADs need to get together and do the right thing and stop with these silly tournaments. Or at least get a bye into the semis, right?
Yeah.
Because he's right. Navy could have been dangerous. Belmont could have been dangerous. Wilmington could. Wilmington was the cat's meow coming in blue ribbon, going back as the best mid-major going in the preview magazines.
Oh, yeah.
And then they just, they stumbled down the stretch and got blasted. It shouldn't be who has a good 20 minutes or who gets hot for a week.
Nope, not at all.
Especially when you're playing 30-plus games now. Now we're down 21.
Yeah. They just, Hawaii hits them once, and then Arkansas said, okay, you've had your fun. Arkansas is going to score 100-plus points in this game today. They have 81 with 7:54. At what point does Cal go to the bench? Because they are not deep. They are playing like 6 guys today.
Did you see what Acuff has?
I did not look
Did you
lately.
see that? Okay.
He had 13 at the half and 4 assists.
It's that prop.
Most points in the...
Yeah, combined high, most team, yeah. Most points for a team. Wasn't it 100.5?
It was 100.5, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can track that coming up next as well. All those fun props for the first round.
Good. Will a 1 seed be losing at the half already cashed? I can't believe it. 20-1 on Siena. What a job.
We'll run all that down, and I promise we'll tell you about the new basketball bets. Still 4 to come yet tonight. I'll explain next here on VSiN.
So you're listening to this podcast because you want an edge. But what if I told you you're only halfway there? You've got the mindset. Now it's time to get the toolkit to match. Here's the thing. Pro bettors spend thousands on data and tools, but what they don't want you to know is you can get the same edge for a fraction of the cost with VSiN Pro. With VSiN Pro, you get access to expert picks, public betting data, prop projections, powerful tools, analytics, and more. Tap the link in the description and see why thousands of bettors are already using VSiN Pro to cash more bets.
This is one of those topics that no one really wants to think about, but if you're a parent, a homeowner, married, or helping take care of aging parents, it's something that honestly deserves a little attention. I'm talking about estate planning. And before you tune out thinking it's complicated or expensive, that's actually why I want to mention Trust and Will. Trust and Will makes estate planning feel way less intimidating than it sounds. They offer modern, attorney-designed wills and trusts that you can create online. And the process is surprisingly straightforward. In fact, you can create a will in as little as 30 minutes. That includes things like guardianship for your kids or pets, how your assets are distributed, and even healthcare directives. Don't wait until it's too late. Protect your loved ones with Trust and Will, the most trusted name in online estate planning. Go to trustandwill.com/future to get 20% off. That's trustandwill.com/future for 20% off. trustandwill.com/future.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Arkansas leading Hawaii 81-63, 6:49 to play. They close again about 15.5-point favorites. And North Dakota State closing the gap a little bit here against Tom Izzo and his boys.
Come on.
Down to 17.
Come on, make some noise.
And that number was 16.5.
That's quiet. Yep, 2 blowouts.
Maybe
Maybe North Dakota State can get the backdoor cover, and then we're waiting another 5 minutes. We'll have numbers. Louisville, Michigan State, and High Point, Arkansas. Vandy is 1.5 against Nebraska. Duke's 11.5 against TCU.
Greg Peterson here at VSiN makes Vandy 5.
All right.
So there's that. Let me give you some first half bets based on the new basketballs here that teams are using. 4-2 so far, including the play-in games. The games that we have tonight, Gonzaga in the first half minus 11.5. That's currently available. That was bumped up to 12.5, back down to 11.5 if you want to play this stuff. Illinois in the first half against Penn. That opened 13.5, closed 14.5. I'm not going to be chasing bad numbers. I'll give you the reason why. There was a play on Miami and SMU under last night. The opener was 78.5, 77, 76.5, 76, 75.5 is where that number went. It led at 77. I don't really feel like laying the line at 14.5 in the game. Georgia opened up 1 in the first half. That's now all over the map because some money on St. Louis. And the first half is like Georgia minus a half, minus 20 at FanDuel, minus 16 at Novig, the way it looks. And another play that would qualify would be North Carolina and VCU under the total. However, that was 72.5, sitting there at 71.5 last night and earlier this morning, now 69.5. So I'm, again, move 3 points. I have no interest. Not going to get involved. And Hawaii now has it down to 14. Check that. My God, my math is wrong. It's still at 20. I read that 83.69, which would have been nice, but it's 83.63.
Who made the schedule tonight?
It's not a great schedule.
Why did they close like this?
I don't know.
Idaho, Houston's the late game, 2:15. Kennesaw, Gonzaga, late game, 3:14. 20-point spread, 24-point spread. Illinois, Penn, late window, 25-point spread. What are we doing?
It's honestly, it's one of the first things I look at every single year with the bracket, the Thursday night and the Friday night games.
Yeah. You could argue Friday night's just as bad. That's Friday night. Everyone's off work. Everyone's home. Here we go. Tournament. All right. And they come down. They close with Furman, UConn, Kansas, Cal Baptist, and Florida Prairie View. Come on.
Yikes.
And then you got Queens and Purdue right in front of that. That's how they close Friday night?
That's pretty weak.
It is.
Yep.
Those should be the early games.
They've done better jobs a lot over years past. Let me give you some of these props now that we talked about a couple days this week. Is Arkansas just had a dunk, I think, and they now have 86 points in the game. So the most points scored by any single team. Ran this down yesterday again. It's basically a coin flip when it's around 99.5 or 100.5 going back. But that was the closing or the opening number. I think it closed there as well at will anybody score more than 100.5 points. Arkansas is 86 with 5:43 to play. No other team has been close so far today. They're certainly on pace. Which brings us to most combined points of 189.5. I would have only looked under there based on previous results and how high that was jacked up from 182.5 last year, 179.5 the year before that. This game might go flying over.
Yep.
So lowest points. This has been one of my favorites over the years. Will any team score fewer than 44.5? Troy finished with 47 today. But that was also unplayable to me because once the books adjusted that much, I can't play under 44.5. If that number was 47.5, which is where it was in previous years, ding, 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 we already have a winner. And the lowest combined score, 109.5. We have not had a stink bomb from two teams so far in the same game.
Yeah. Disappointed in Troy.
Very much so. That was a very weak performance.
I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't think we're going to get that low-scoring stink bomb. The other thing, I think Acuff only has 19. So that prop that was up, and Caesars had it, Will Hill, and other spots, player to score the most points in the round of 64. So, hello to Bancha and what he could do tonight. And that's an intriguing game. So, Texas won, but a lot of people in a big move on the under. 4-point move down to 157.5. I know Aaron Moore gave out the over, but BYU at least played defense in the tournament, the Big 12 tournament. So it was unfortunate they lost Saunders, and this team was as high as what they get 7, 6 in the poll. How well they were playing early on, but come limping to the finish line. So we'll see if there's some BYU magic here. Small favorite, and if very disappointing season. They were so good last year and went to the Sweet 16 and then just lost to Bama, who couldn't miss and set that record when they hit all those threes. But
the Saunders injury was just
killer. But they weren't playing well. Remember the first half issues?
I know.
Every game they would come out flat. But they were. So
let me give you this angle on BYU, by the way, Pauly. This is not going to happen, but DeBance has talked about this in like recent weeks about how he would consider going back and playing in Provo for a sophomore year. Seems like that's a very long shot to happen. But I mean, in this new era that we're still in, maybe a program steps up and says, "Man, we loved having you here. We got more money than anybody. How does $15 million sound to stick around for one more year?" Like if he were to do that, they already have a commit from another 5-star kid next year.
Yeah.
And maybe BYU, with all this NIL money, maybe they can turn into a perennial power now moving forward. But I kind of like Texas in this game tonight.
Yeah.
I don't want to overreact from that dog bleep that we watched the other night against NC State.
Yeah, I just don't think they're that good.
And neither do I.
It's right there for BYU. And it's right there, and that's why I picked them Final Four. And I know it's not top-notch Gonzaga that we're used to, but I think this bracket opens up for Gonzaga.
Well, I mean, don't you think BYU Gonzaga would be the nuts in the next round?
It'd be fun to watch, yes. It'd be high scoring, but I'd take Gonzaga there, and then what Purdue team are you going to get if that's going to be Purdue, assuming they get by the Miami-Missouri winner? I think that Gonzaga could be live in that game as well.
God,
So, you look at it, and it was just a funny year when Gonzaga again played a monster schedule, but the teams they were going against were down.
Yep.
And then they played Michigan and got beat by 40. But then they got in the tournament, had the weird, bizarre loss against Portland when they were laying 23, but beat Santa Clara all 3 times and split with St. Mary's. So every time I look up, Arkansas's dunking the ball.
Well, here's what just happened. So Hawaii cut it to 15. Arkansas drains a 3 to bump it back up, 89-71. Then Hawaii had a look at a 3 they missed, and there's a leak out for another high-flying Dominique Wilkins tomahawk dunk for the 14th time today, I think. And now they lead by, 20, whatever it is now. So, golly, I mean, how many times will Hawaii tease us here with that plus 15.5 now? And Michigan State just went on a mini run to make it 82-61. And they closed 16.5 in that game.
Yeah, no help. Well, thanks to Siena and High Point today, because this could have been ugly. You got a great start with TCU Ohio State.
That was a great game.
That's an 8-9 game. But certainly the Dogs haven't given us much to root for in these other games.
Grade today so far.
That's a B.
I think it's been pretty good.
Yes.
I'll go rock solid overall.
You got a huge upset with High Point winning as a 12 and a double-digit dog in their first ever win. And then you had a 1-seed trail at the half and trail with 7 minutes left. So, and you got the TCU finish. So I'd give it a B. It's unfortunate what happened with Troy, and we got a lot of blowouts so far. But the night session could be interesting.
Yeah. I really want to go on like a 4-minute rant against Wisconsin basketball and sports in general, but this is not exactly drive time in Sheboygan, so I'll pass on that.
What do you think Badger locker room's like? Can you believe this happens to us every year? Come on. What are we doing here?
How do you even say one word today? They were completely dejected on the court. You should see my phone right now, by the way.
Yeah, couldn't pull away. Up 8.
Ever.
Thought they're going to run away and hide.
No,
up 8.
Do it.
Huge in-play favorite. And High Point made all the shots down the stretch, and they were not afraid. And I give full marks to that coach, too. But no joke to be 23-1 your last 24. We're brought to you by Prophet X. The King of March gives you a shot at free trips worth up to $10,000 with 10 pregame spreads. Win them. Win 10 pregame spreads or totals across the tournament. Hit your volume goal and you're in. Flights, hotels, your choice of destination, all on Prophet X. Every additional 10 wins gets you back in the running. Download the app. Use code VSINMM. Compete to become the King of March. Only on Prophet X. Code VSINMM.
All right, let's follow the money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Broadcasting live from the Circa Casino, Circa Resort in Las Vegas, in downtown Las Vegas. Place is absolutely phenomenal today. I can't imagine what Stadium Swim is like. It's like 95 degrees out here now. By the way, underrated spot. If you're in town looking for a spot to go to, the 12th floor at the D.
Mm-hmm.
It is free. They have good food specials up there, and they have the balcony outside with leather seats, tons of TVs. Yep. It's great.
Golden Gate, another good spot, too. Sit at the bar. Get the perfect time to get the penthouse for your buddies. They got a grill out there.
Yep. We will get into the evening games coming up next. I'm concerned about a bet that I made earlier in the week. I'll explain why next.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
It's official. Arkansas just knocked off Hawaii. Your score there, Razorbacks 97, Rainbow Warriors 78. So they stay under 100 points, and it was a 15-point game with about a minute left. It's kind of disgusting how that game played out for those of us holding on to Hawaii plus 15.5. Wouldn't you say so, Pauly?
He's got Acuff in the game.
Why is he still in the game?
Yeah, and they cut it to 15 and a couple backdoor cut, a dunk.
Hawaii misses a layup.
Yeah, Hawaii didn't get the offense again, get the rebound. That led to a second chance point. So that was tough.
So now a number will be posted here shortly on Arkansas against High Point in the second round. I can't wait to see the total.
Oh yeah,
High Point averaged 90 points in this during the season. They beat Wisconsin today, 83-82. Arkansas has been blistering hot and scored 97 just now. And if Wisconsin closed 10.5, you certainly have to upgrade High Point a little bit here after their win today. But Arkansas just won the SEC title and looked incredible today from the jump in that game. So I would imagine Arkansas opened up about 12.
Mm-hmm.
Be my guess.
A lot of points here. Sparty scored 89.
Yep, and they're going to cover the way it looks.
Someone hit a three. 92-67, Michigan State.
90. Okay, because that was just down to 17, and people with North Dakota State tickets were like, okay, can I actually get a cover here? No, you can't. All right, so the results as of today, TCU was a dog, small dog, though, got there outright. Nebraska, huge favorite, won. The Louisville-South Florida game was, the landing spot. I mean, everybody in the world had South Florida. 6.5. You said 7.5 at some spots?
Yeah.
Close 3.5, Louisville by 4. High Point, the one dog outright. Duke did not cover, but won by 6. I guess Vandy didn't cover. Arkansas and Michigan State now here in the afternoon sessions, they did cover. So, and we got a lot of big boys coming up tonight. And I bet Penn right away, 24.5 and the over 148.5. They are now catching 25.5. The total's up 3 points. But it's been official now for a couple of days. Penn's leading scorer, Ethan Roberts, he's out. Led the team, averaging 16.9 points per game on the year. The team ranks 15th in the country in three-point shooting at 38.6%. Robert shot 40% this year. Made 40, that was it, but still, really good shooter. And, so many people have been making the case for Illinois, and the number went up from 22.5 to where it is right now.
Yep. VCU total, 154 down to 150.5. Big move on Illinois, as you mentioned. Gonzaga, Kennesaw State, 158.5 down to 151.5. Texas BYU 161 down to 157.5. Michigan, is that Howard? Yeah, 156.5 down to 151. So they're betting some unders here, but been a ton of points scored today.
Coming up in the later session then as well, along with Illinois and Penn, you're going to get St. Louis and Georgia. Talked about the game in the previous hour.
Yeah.
Georgia now 2.5. Total's down to 167.5. You're just running down the totals there. But I think this could be one of those games where, much like the Wisconsin High Point game today, will both teams score 80. Very high scoring affair there. The committee did a really good job posting like these teams against each other that could create some very entertaining games. Mm-hmm. We got it with that one with Wisconsin today, losing outright, and I think we could have that with Georgia and St. Louis as well. Georgia was a high-flying machine the entire year, scoring a ton of points, and their defense is not good at all. And St. Louis can go bombs away, and we saw some of their games this year go to the moon. And that could be one of the things where combining, like playing both, you said this earlier, we were running down the numbers, but could both teams score 90-plus in that game? Will both teams score 40 or 45-plus in each half?
Yeah, those are big tickets. This is the St. Louis game. Each team to score 50 in each half. It's 100-1. Each team to score 45 in each half is 20-1. Each team to score 100 for the game, 17-1. Each team to score 95 points, 8-1. Each team to score 90 points, plus 375. And you also have those bets at BetMGM as well that are creative. Time of the first point, over under 21.5 seconds, under plus 210. I'm going to watch that from now on about how fast someone shoots after the jump ball. 8+ points scored in the first 2 minutes. Yes, plus 250. Both teams to score in the first minute. This cashed in the Michigan State game. Yes, plus 260. That's all up. And then first 3 scores exact method that also you can bet. Like 2-pointer, free throw, 2-pointer, 2-pointer.
Right.
2-pointer, 3-pointer. That stuff's great.
Hey, Luke, can you see on the BetMGM app if you can parlay those 21-second props? You can parlay the over?
Wow.
Boy, I would look at, man.
That's crazy.
You just want the tip to happen and then nothing. You want the team to take their time, miss a shot, turn, whatever. But they're all different for the games, obviously based on who's playing each other, but 250 in that range, maybe a little bit higher for some of them as well. I really don't want to bet any of the unders. But that's where you're going to get the splash of return with the plus money on that.
Yeah.
Is there a first to 10, 15, or 20 candidate coming up a little bit later on that you would like? Like the dog price. I'm going to throw out St. Louis or Georgia. It's not going to be worth it, I don't think. Would you look, Howard? We saw it with Siena. Or would you look at Kennesaw or Idaho? You got candidates here where if it happens again, it's going to be some monster numbers cashing. But I don't
mind Cal Baptist, but it's tomorrow. I think Daniels could hit him with a couple threes early on, and Kansas, disrespects them, and they come out and it's like 12-4 Baptist. But Kennesaw, I didn't see much of them in Conference USA. They surprised me as the 6th seed.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Liberty would go down, but I thought Western Kentucky could be the team there. It's a 3. Idaho, maybe. I'll play along with Idaho, but other than that, I can't see it.
I'll give you
Howard.
one.
Howard's a nice price, but I'll tell you, they're not going to be afraid. That's one thing. They come out and they talk some trash after the win, so they were having fun with the coach in the post game. But I would say Cal Baptist tomorrow out of those games, and maybe Tennessee State against Iowa State.
I'll give you a couple more too.
Hofstra?
Sure.
Yeah.
That'd be one.
The distractions, what's going on?
Yep.
Holloway out? Could be.
Has a total of 158.5. Alabama will get you to play in those crazy styles.
Queens can score.
Maybe. That could be one. But that's not one I had in my mind. Okay, I'll look at Queens. I'm going to look at Wright State against Virginia.
Yes.
That will be juicy.
They can score.
Yes, they can. That will be juicy first at 10, 15, and 20. Another one, they were all winners last night. I got to run it back tomorrow or on Saturday. Tennessee's offense is non-existent. Miami, that's all they do. I'm playing Miami first at 10, 15, and 20 against Tennessee as well.
Okay.
They're going to be bigger numbers than they were last night against SMU. Barnes is the head coach. You ran down his woeful record in the first round earlier in the show today.
Yep.
Now, their defense, obviously, very good. Offense, don't trust them. And Miami will take a lot of threes. If they're going in again tomorrow, well, bam, I think we're probably going to have a winner on first, 10, 15, or 20. What do you think about...
It's alarming. 5 seed or worse 16 times. Once he made the Sweet 16.
Yeah.
Once.
Boy, is that bad. Queens might be intriguing. That game's going to be... See, that's another one. Like the Purdue team total... They are a great candidate to score more than 100.5 points against Queens. But that could be where both teams are going to be scoring that could be 105 to 82.
I got a number and a total. High Point, Arkansas. You nailed the spread.
It's 12?
12.5.
Okay.
What do you think the total is? This is at DraftKings.
171.5.
170.5. All right. High Point, can they do it again? 10-1 on the money line.
God, I hope not.
Okay. That one is set. We're waiting on Louisville and Michigan State. That'll be coming any moment. Vandy up to 2.5 at DraftKings, 147.5 the total. Vandy plays Nebraska. High Point plays Arkansas. TCU Duke Duke opened 12.5 at DraftKings, down to 11.5.
Yeah. So I'm holding on to that Arkansas ticket from
Yeah.
the Blackjack tournament. Can either Utah State or Villanova please knock off Arizona in the second round? Is that possible?
No.
I don't think so either.
No.
How about Long Island first at 10 or 15 tomorrow?
Rod Strickland, can they do it?
Yeah.
The Fins up?
Wouldn't that be fun?
The Sharks.
I mean, I got to be honest. People did bet it with Siena. We saw some of the tickets.
I can't believe it.
That performance, though, how they did it?
They're up 13 in the game. 20-1 cashes, 10-0 run, up 13, up 8 with 7, or up 6 with 7, whatever it was. I mean, that was a real sweat for Duke. But like you said, they didn't go to the bench once. They ran out of gas.
I know.
They were getting great looks in that game. But I think it's, you never know with some of the stuff. Watch the first 5 minutes, see what happens too. I think you'll know if Michigan shows up and they want to just stomp on them and say, that's it.
Yeah.
But if it's, you look up, it's 12-11, 7 minutes in, you might have something here.
You know, at the end of Young Guns, when it's getting narrated, I think by Kiefer Sutherland, and he said on their epitaph, it read one word: pals. That's what these 5 guys, that's it. All 5 guys played every second today
I can't
for
believe
Siena.
it. Yeah.
They're going to be saying that for the rest of their lives. Pals.
Number up,
Good.
Sparty. Got it.
Good. And that and In Pocket Plays coming up next.
The guy has an algorithm to determine the winner of any given college basketball game.
Someone gives you 10,000 to 1 on anything. You take it. Take it. Take it.
I bet you $20 I can get you gambling before the end of the day. No way. I'll give you 3 to 1 odds. Nope. 5 to 1. Nope. 10 to 1. You're on.
Pelicans winner against the against the Clippers. Incredible run. 11-1 ATS run at home against LA, and they play again tonight. Kawhi unexpectedly played, and it didn't matter.
Where'd that come from?
What's that?
Kawhi playing.
I know, that was surprising. No Mathurin, though. And they had a big lead, but then the Pelicans ran them out in the second half. Rockets money line, no good. Sengun played. He played well. Not a lot of help from Durant and others. And Luka and LeBron were awesome. The old man was 13 of 14 from the floor. Troy earlier, plus all those points, no good. That dog had fleece. Nebraska gets their first ever tournament win, runs them out. Georgia money line tonight against St. Louis. Hawaii, good number. We got beat. That was down. They were down 15. Cal's got the starters, and man, Northern Iowa plus all those points tomorrow against St. John's. Wright State against Virginia. Buzzer beater for the entire tournament at Will Hill Caesars, no. Total games to go to overtime, 3.5 under -130. Queens plus all those points, 24.5 tomorrow against Purdue. The new plays, TCU plus 11.5 tomorrow. Pelicans tonight against the Clippers. Vandy, money line against Nebraska. Heat, 3 against the Lakers. It's 3.5 at DK. Luka will play. LeBron will play. Reeves game time decision.
How about that?
I can't believe it. Because they must have got there at 6 in the morning, 5 in the morning. And they got the game tonight after the big win against the Rockets. I thought he'd sit a couple guys because they have the tiebreaker now over Houston, Denver, and Minnesota, and there's separation between them and everyone else as they try to get that 3 seed. And we're getting ready for VCU and North Carolina in 3 minutes. North Carolina 2.5, 150.5. Good luck.
Haven't played that game yet. I might have to do it before tip time somehow, some way. Recapping the plays from last night. The Miami first to 10, 15, and 20 all got there. That was good. All plus prices. And I'm looking, by the way, for tomorrow's games. Miami against Tennessee. The first to 10 is plus 175. First to 15 is 2-1. First to 20 is plus 230. Those are all pretty solid numbers. So that was a fun start last night. Troy plus a 13.5, no good. Was a loser as well for me. Good for the first 10 minutes. Looked fun. Looked good. No bueno. Pending, Queens plus 25.5. Penn, ugh. plus 24.5 now without their leading scorer. That game over 148.5. Santa Clara plus the 4. Some of all seeds to make the Final Four under 9.5. Minus 30 cents. New stuff. Put some of this up pending again. Virginia. Okay, we'll go by that on that. Put a lot of this stuff on the. I don't think some of that's mine.
No?
No, I don't think I have Texas and Texas A&M. That might be Aaron Moore. Luke. Those are Aaron Moore plays. My plays, Wright State plus the 18.5 against Virginia. UCLA 5.5 against Central Florida. And Vandy to make the Sweet 16. I put that on the VSiN Picks page last night, minus 110.
Download the free Upside app. Use promo code NETWORK. Start earning real cash back on gas, groceries, and dining. Join the Upside app. Claim a cash back offer to a location near you. Shop as usual, then earn real cash back. Cash out directly to your bank account, PayPal, or gift cards. With over 5 million users already earning, one of the easiest ways to save on everyday purchases. Download the free Upside app now. Use code NETWORK. Get 25 cents back per gallon on your first tank. Offers vary by user and location. See Upside.com for details. Stuff you buy every day. Use it. Head to the location. Make your purchase and save your earnings your way. Groceries, gas, and dining. Find offers near you. Upside. Code NETWORK. Other candidates to go on a 10-0 run. Akron tomorrow plus 260. Kennesaw State tonight plus 550.
Ooh.
Hofstra plus 350. Also, double-digit seed has made the Sweet 16 every year since 2008. It's early, but you got High Point already advancing.
Yeah.
And maybe the 10s can do some damage, too. Wisconsin was 11-0 straight up when favored by 7 or more.
Yike.
High Point now 15 in a row, 23 of their last 24 they've won. Michigan State opened 3.5. They're up to 4.5 and 150 against Louisville.
Let me throw some of these first to 10 to 15 at you. Games that we just talked about for a little bit later on. Shop around. You're always going to find a little bit different prices anyway. So the Wright State Virginia game. First to 10 here at Circa. Wright State's plus 245. Is that enough for you to get involved?
Yeah. That's
now,
good.
I think the numbers have come down in recent years because the dogs have cashed so many times that I think books realize, that happens more than we think. We should probably cut down on a little bit. For example, Queens catching 25.5. I want to say a couple years ago would have been like 6-1.
Yeah.
But also that might have been first to 15. First to 10 at Circa, they're plus 360. You want to bet that? They can score.
Yeah.
The pace is going to be up and down.
Yep. Both teams to score in the first minute. 8+ points in the first 2 minutes.
Okay. They're plus 475 first to 15. They're 6-1 first to 20.
Gotta watch that.
Might
Let's
have to
watch
pop
this
those
right now. What time is it? We're getting ready to tip with North Carolina. I want to see what this prop up that's BetMGM has on every game. Time of the first point, over under 21.5 seconds.
Okay, this is good. They offer it for every single game, and they obviously change the juice for the game, the two teams that are involved.
What a number. Because you win the opening tap. You come in, you walk it up, take your time.
Wait, hold on. Didn't Luke say it was 3-1 under in the play-in?
Yeah.
So those like big plus prices were cashing, like we're getting points right out of the gates?
I know. How many teams run off it?
Well, we should have bet this.
All right,
we
here we
should
go.
have bet. Okay.
Win the tap, give it back. All right, patty cake.
Take your time.
Here we go. Bring it up.
Pass it around. Set some screens. Work it around the perimeter here. You're in no hurry. Game just started.
I'm going to post it up to the big guy.
15, 16. He's going to take a shot in the low block. No, he doesn't. They whip it around, and it's a winner.
No shot.
Over 21.5. And look at that.
Yeah. Okay.
Over 21.5 comes in like that.
So when you also see that possession, both teams to score in the first minute. Now, you got to lay a nice price on the no, but you get a miss right off the bat, cash it, right?
Yep. But here now you have a foul.
Yeah.
And he's going to go to the free throw line.
Well, it comes down to this one possession for VCU.
That's exactly right. They're going to have,
VCU's getting one shot.
Basically, you're betting the yes right now on VCU to score in their next possession. And that would be a big plus price right now, I would think, live in play.
Good job. Every game they got that.
And you can parlay it.
Yeah.
Luke, do they let you do round robins? Oh, boy. Oh, that'd be a fun one. Might have to go to the Strip and hang out in an MGM for the entire weekend. MGM property. Okay, so now to score, so Carolina has 2 points. Now VCU, they're running the half-court set here. Had a look. Yeah! No good.
Then he got the ball.
Oh,
back.
wow. Good. Nice job there by the kid.
Got 10 seconds.
Takes it from 16 feet.
Oh!
Nope. Two looks.
I know.
No good.
And also, method of first basket is great, too, because it started with the free throws.
And so they
free throw, 2-pointer was 18-1. That cashes.
Wait.
There's a 2, yeah.
So to go in order.
Yeah.
Free
throw, 2-pointer was 17-1.
What?
Yeah, I'm looking right at it.
Oh, man.
Well, how often does that happen?
Wow.
You get the foul right off the bat. Then the kid's got to make both.
Well, you're really digging into DGen
Interesting.
territory here.
Well, they got all the options, I know, but I've never seen it. It's great.
Every imaginable option possible.
Yeah. I mean, we see it all the time in NBA playoffs and stuff, in NBA regular season method of first basket, but they got first three.
Yep.
There's an and one.
There's an and one.
So
yep.
that comes in 18-1.
The free throw 2-pointer.
Yes.
17-1.
Yes.
First of all, do you know, I mean, that's why it's so high. The odds to actually start a game with free throw?
Yeah.
Do they also, can you do like free throw 3-pointer? Because what if the guy makes one, misses the next?
That's the highest one.
That's the highest one?
Right. No, that's your big boy there. Because now you're really talking about the stars have to align.
Oh, this is...
Because he's got to split them, and boy, there's some new stuff up here every year. It's good. Good. And a good job, Will Hill and Caesars,
they're
too.
thinking of everything, really.
Yeah, they got those specials up there.
Well, I got to tell you, the first to 10, I'm sorry, check that. Will a team go on a 10-0 run is absolutely sensational.
That is great.
They should offer that on every game.
They have to now.
They have to.
After what Siena did. They didn't offer it on the Siena game. And Siena did it. Because you'd think the 1 seed's just such a big price. But the 16 did it to them.
What number would you have needed to bet?
Oh, God.
I wouldn't even look below 10-1.
They were laying 27 points.
Sure. Excuse me. You would think like
No.
Duke's winning by 35.
I never would have thought of it.
No.
I never would have thought of it.
Ever.
And congrats if you had 20-1 first half money line.
Stay tuned. Murray, Humans, live betting throughout the entire tournament for the next 4 hours. That'll lead into Dustin and cashing out. Recapping tomorrow. VSiN by the book, 7 a.m. Eastern. Good luck tonight.